RMJ Movie Reviews back again with my movie review of Spider-Man No Way Home. Um, what can I say about Spider-Man No Way Home? I love this movie. Listen, I love this movie. 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 I cannot contain myself for how much I love this movie. It was fantastic. It was great. Spider-Man has been my favorite superhero ever since I was 5 years old. He has always been my favorite superhero out of all of them. This movie's great. I like all the Spider-Man movies. I'll talk about all the rest of them later, but let's talk about this one. This was great. It was fantastic. It was a 10 out of 10. I loved this film. I love the first reboot, Homecoming. I thought that was a great movie. The last one, Far From Home, I liked it, but I wasn't as crazy about it as the previous film. This one, in my opinion, is my favorite Marvel film out of all of them. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's my personal favorite. It. I'm gonna rate this movie simply off the way it made me feel because I think that's how we should go by films and how the way we feel. This movie brought out an immense joy in me that it took me so back to my childhood. Like when I was a wee little kid and I would watch these films, like when my mother showed me The Goonies for the first time off Viewer's Choice, and when I saw like Conan the Destroyer, the second film, yes, for the first time when I was a kid, and all these films that just made me just go to this magical place of wonder. This is what this film made me feel. It was great. And I know people say, fan service, fan service, oh, fan service, fan service. Well, guess what? You know what? Fan service has been around for a long time. Look at sequels from the 80s and the early 90s. There was fan service in there's Lethal Weapon 2, Lethal Weapon 3. Fan service. Even Batman Returns, little bit of fan service. I mean, there's fan service has been around for Home Alone 2. Fan service has been around for so long, and I don't care about the naysayers. You know what? We want fan service because we know what we like, and we want the filmmakers to be appreciative of us enough as fans who come to pay and see these movies to put it in the next movie. Yes, you create something new, but you also give us what we want. And what I love about this movie is it has all the emotion that was brought in by the original Sam Raimi film, and it has the action spectacle of all the films. Yes, even the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I know how some people feel about that film. Um, it manages to not be overstuffed with bringing in previous villains from previous Spider-Man entries that are totally other films. And the way they bring intricately the storyline together to involve the villains from those other films is absolutely spectacular, and it makes sense to this new Spider-Man universe. You bringing in Doctor Strange. It was great. I loved absolutely every single minute of it. I don't think I have to talk about anything like performances or anything. Look, it's a Marvel production. You already know the performance is going to be good, which everybody is good. I can talk about the villains. William Dafoe, come on. William Dafoe, one of the all-time OGs of character acting. He could do this in his sleep. He brings exactly what he brought to the original movie with a slight different edge. Jamie Foxx is good here. His this version of Electro is a little bit different. I think it's Thomas Eden Church who's been in films for the longest. His Sandman, he brings the same thing that he brought to the third film, which the third film, you know, we feel how we feel about that. Spider-Man 3, but he's good. Alfred Molina, I mean, he is absolutely fantastic. Him and William Dafoe just run this freight train for the villains, and to see the both of them together interacting on screen is magical. It's magic. That's the thing. This movie took me back to, because Spider-Man has been my favorite superhero my entire life since I've been 5 years old. I was introduced to the character from early NBC Saturday morning cartoons on Channel 3 in the 80s because they played Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, a cartoon that I think some people have forgotten about. It is on Disney Plus. It's great. I don't care about the flaws. Me, 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 me. All the characters you see in the Marvel movies today are on that TV show. That was my introduction to Spider-Man. Spider-Man used to be on Sesame Street when I used to watch Sesame Street in the 80s. And also Spider-Man. I was introduced to Spider-Man during the 80s when they reran the 1970s Spider-Man TV show. You know, I love that stupid show, but it was great. So Spider-Man is kind of more like an emotional thing for me, and it brings me back to a magical time in my life when I wasn't an adult. I didn't really experience real pain outside of maybe falling off of a jungle gym and busting my head on concrete. That did happen. Um, but it really brings me. The movie brought me back to that strong sense of wonder and brought me in emotionally and also with the action spectacle. And most of all, it was fun. It was fun. The film is long; it's 2.5 hours, but to me, it went at a brisk pace. Of I've heard some people say it doesn't have that much action. I don't care. I was just enjoying watching the characters. I was just enjoying watching Spider-Man. I mean, Spider-Man just crawls and does this. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I nearly screamed. And what I will say as far as the story goes, like I said, they cleverly brought in villains from previous versions of Spider-Man, film versions. And to me, the Sam Raimi movie will always be my favorite, the 2002 original film. I'm not saying it's the best, but for me, as old as a Spider-Man fan as I am, because I'm 40 years old and I've been watching Spider-Man for a long time, that was the first big screen Spider-Man movie for me. So that will always hold a special place in my heart, regardless of its flaws with the special effects and some of the stories. It's still a great movie. And I will say that every bit of every incarnation of Spider-Man that they had, with the villains and certain storylines, everything comes full circle in this film. Everything comes full circle. And when I mean full circle, I'm talking about character development, character arcs. That's what I say. It was a great movie. I loved it. It is a solid 10 out of 10. Anybody who's a hardcore Spider-Man fan needs to go see Spider-Man. What's the movie called? No Way Home. That's what it's called. I forgot the title of it. It's great. It was absolutely. I had so much fun in this movie that I literally could not stop shaking. You know, like fellas, those of us out there who are hardcore action fans, like if you watch a Jet Li movie like Kiss of the Dragon, or when you see Jet Li do like a real cool move and you go like, ooh, like it was that kind of reaction, that physical reaction that this movie gave me. Like I literally could not stop shaking, particularly in the second and third act of this movie. I could not stop moving in my seat. Like this is how much I was enjoying myself. This movie gave me the chills. Like it was, it was great. It was great. I don't care about fan service because they said the same thing about Ghostbusters. Nah, 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 nah. They just want to redo everything and they just want to pander to the audience. Well, pander to me because that's what I want. Give me what I like, and that's what they did. They gave you. This movie is a chocolate covered sundae with some chocolate chip cookies on the side, with a bag of chips and a hamburger. This is great. I love this movie. Look, this is a solid 10 out of 10. Go see Spider-Man No Way Home. It's great. It's fantastic. It's got all the fan service. It's got all the character development. It's got the rousing action. It's got the rousing music. This movie's great. Go see it. Do not listen to the naysayers and all the pussy pums who want to just go like, no, they're just pandering. It's slow. There's no action. It's great. Go see it. Look, thumbs up the video. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video. Leave comments down below. Hit the bell. And, look, if you got a problem with fan service and Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2002 or The Amazing Spider-Man or Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, why don't you go ahead and watch The Bridges of Madison County, man? I'm done. Look, I'm about to go see the movie again.